It is a scientific fact that if you drink sparkling wine every single day for the rest of your life, you will lead a longer, happier life. And while I may have just completely made up that statistic, I think we can all agree that that's basically the world we live in now. And it's probably true. The great Winston Churchill once said, "I could not live without champagne. In victory, I deserve it. In defeat, I need it." Let's set the record straight. In order to be called champagne, all of the grapes have to come from the Champagne region of France, which is just northeast of Paris. If a single grape comes from even 10 feet over the border, you can't call it champagne. But the rules get even more strict. They have to use certain grapes, with the main three being Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and another red grape called Pinot Meunier. And they have to use a certain process, which is called the method champenois, or the traditional method. This process was created back in the 1700s by a number of characters, including Madame Clicquot. I love champagne. It can be toasty and bready, it can be yeasty, it can be really crisp, it can be refreshing, it can be dry, it can be sweet, yet it's always elegant and refined. It pairs with almost any food, from pizza to steak, sushi to barbecue. However, there's a little bit of a problem. Champagne is really expensive. A decent bottle starts at around $30, and to get something pretty nice, you're looking at $50 a bottle. So I'm not gonna buy a bottle of champagne on a Tuesday night, unless, like Winston Churchill suggests, I had a really good day or a really bad day. Cava comes from the Penedès region of Spain, which is just outside Barcelona. It's made the same way as champagne, only from grapes that are indigenous to Spain. So grapes like Macabeo and Chiarlo, it's not really all that important. What is important is this is an everyday version of champagne, which means it's pretty inexpensive. You can pick up bottles between $8 to $15, which means you don't just have to grab one, you can get a few. Prosecco comes from the Veneto region of Italy, which is right next to Venice. Prosecco is made in a different way than champagne, and it can, but not always, have a little bit of sweetness to it. Not a lot, but just enough to make you want to keep drinking it. Prosecco is not terribly expensive either. Again, it's around $10 to $20 a bottle. But not all bottles of Prosecco are created equal. The high quality ones, which are often only $2 or $3 more than the cheap ones, have this unpronounceable word on it that designates the region. Okay, how do I say Valdobbiadene? Hang on, that's why I queued up the YouTube video.
Valdobbiadene.
Valdobbiadene. Look for Valdobbiadene, and that's how you know you're gonna get a good one. Cremant is the word for high quality sparkling wines that come from other parts of France that are not champagne. They typically use different grapes, like in the Loire Valley they use Chenin Blanc because that's what they have. These are usually really tasty and run about half to 1/3 the price of actual champagne. If you're looking for some classy as bubbles and want to impress your friends with your French, go for Cremant. Yep, we make bubbles here in the US, and we actually make some pretty damn good ones. Most quality producers use the same grapes and the exact same process as the French do in champagne, but you're gonna taste some differences depending on where the grapes were grown. Since the Champagne region is one of the coldest regions in the world, we can actually make sparkling wines all over the US. New Mexico has top quality bubbles, as does New York State and Massachusetts. But you're most likely to run across California sparkling wines. But the California ones, due to the hotter climate, you get this juicier, riper fruit. And this sounds kind of cheesy, but you can kind of taste the sunshine. Wherever people are making wine, somebody is making bubbles. In Australia, they're making dry, sparkling red wines with Shiraz. In Greece, they have this sweet, deep pink bottle of bubbles. In Italy, they have a style called frizzante, which means like half sparkling. This is Lambrusco, Moscato, and this sparkling red wine called Bracchetto, which is over 3,000 years old. Julius Caesar used to give this to Cleopatra. All over the world you can find people making sparkling wine. From India to Argentina, China to South Africa. So drink more bubbles. Your life will get better. Remember, it's a scientific fact.